What's up, Fort Mill High School? I'm Mr. Young, your career development facilitator, and I'm excited to have with me today my friend, Mr. Daniel Foster, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his career. But before we do that, Brother Foster, how you doing today?
Oh man, Mr. Young, I'm doing great, brother. I'm doing great. I'm actually at work while I'm at work. It's the importance of multitasking. So if you see my head go to the left, I'm actually trying to do two things at once right here. But this is definitely a pleasure to be here with you all today.
Awesome, man. We really appreciate you spending some time with us today. So, to get us started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your career?
All right, awesome. Well, my name's Daniel Foster. Born and raised Gaffney, South Carolina. My my current job title is Warrior Path Guide. Right. So I work for a company called the Boulder Crest Foundation, and through this program, I'm basically a trauma and grief counselor, and my job allows me to work 2/3 of the time at home, and 1/3 we travel. I'm a part of a mobile training team, which consists of 5 other individuals, and every month we travel to a different state and run a program known as Warrior Path through our parent company, the Boulder Crest Foundation, helping first responders and veterans who are dealing with immediate trauma and/or grief.
Oh wow, that sounds like it's something like there's a lot of weight that comes with that. I mean, what can you share with us, well, with the students, as far as like what are some of the more challenging aspects of your job?
Um, the more challenging aspects of the job is being mindful that we are bringing in eight, 7 to 8 individuals from different phases of life. From all of them, either first responders and or post 9/11 veteran. And these individuals oftentimes are dealing with pretty significant trauma. We're talking things that's 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 life altering and right on the brink of suicide. So you have these individuals coming in, and you having to meet them where they're at, and be not only be being empathetic, but being able to control your sympathy, because sympathy allows you to lose track of the goal. Being empathetic and being an active listener and being able to compartmentalize what it is you're hearing and what it is that you guys as a team determine this individual needs for the next 7 to 10 days while they're with us face to face. But overall, we have the 90. So yeah, the most difficult part is taking yourself out of it, removing yourself from the equation, and understanding it's not about me. It's not about me. I'm just a service. I'm just a part of the system, a part of the service, a part of the larger picture to help this individual get to where they should be living. I'm gonna say thriving versus surviving.
Tell you what, and I say that's a new view on being selfless. Like I said, instead of having you be the main part, the main focus is on the person who you're trying to help. I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely, Mr. Young. That's what happens when we're operating within our gifts. We run through life trying to figure out what our gifts is. What am I talented at? You see people over here can sing, play drums, play music, sing, and do various things that we just can't do. But once we start operating within our gift, it's only one way to do it.
Mm.
It's only one way to attack it.
I tell you, I'm gonna give a shameless plug for just a moment. Students, I have some tools that will help you figure out what those gifts are. So if you need some help with that, you need some guidance, please come see me. I would love to help you figure out where you're naturally gifted and where your natural abilities lie. Now, Daniel, how long have you been doing this type of work?
Oh wow! Well, on the human service field altogether, while I've been in human services for, I want to say, maybe the last 15 years. 15 years. But this being a part of human services, that tends to take you from one career to the next, to the next, to the next, but not necessarily leaving human services, but actually being a working with the Boulder Crest Foundation and being a path guide. I've been at that for a year now.
Oh
A year
wow!
this month, exactly.
And what I love about what you said is how you were able to find multiple careers within the same field.
Absolutely.
Because I think sometimes we look at our students and they'll tell us, well, I want to be a doctor, and really what they're saying is that they want to be in the medical field. So
Yes.
this is another great example of that. As we seek to pinpoint their career, we can leave the window open a little bit. That way, they have options for different things. So this is really good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, just growing up and being you know, young people trying to figure your career path out, you're going to change your mind. You're going to change. What suits you today may not suit you tomorrow. When you're starting out, you may have a certain pay level that you'd like to be at, certain income level, salary, annual, whatever it may be. But then you start to have a family, and now that's just not enough money. So you have to figure out a way to continue to grow, and the more you can grow within, the better you're going to be, especially if you're operating in your gifts. The better off you're going to be in the long run.
Absolutely. So now talk to us a little bit about your path to this career. I know you said you've had a few different. How have you gotten to this point?
Wow. Well, of course, education. Um, I started out. I think I have every degree you could possibly have. I started out at Spartanburg Methodist, Spartanburg Methodist College. Now it's I think it's maybe Spartanburg Methodist University, whatever they call it now, over there. But it's also school Spartanburg Pioneers over there. There was a junior college then, and I went through there and I got my associates in early childhood development because I wanted to own a daycare. I'm already thinking human services. Um, After that, years and years later, um, after a 10-year stint in the military, I ended up going to Limestone College. Well, I got my undergraduate in psychology, and at this time, I was already working in the school system as a substitute teacher. So we bounced forward from being a substitute teacher. I received my bachelor's in psychology, and I became a graduation coach. And I did that for several years. And I became a graduation coach. I became an at-risk coordinator. After and during this time here, I received my master's in social work with an emphasis on military families
Okay.
and communities. It really fit me because through all those phases, there's been personal growth, there's been life growth that led me from one spot to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. To answer your question, um, kind of broaching the subject of mental health a little. I'm a veteran. I'm a combat veteran, and I raised my hand and say, "Hey, I'm one of the proud men out here who say I suffer from a mental illness, PTSD. Um, it's all over me." But what happened was, I decided to go and get help, and I went through a program called Warrior Path, Gratitude America down in Florida. 7-day program, non-medicinal, non-therapeutic. We're not giving you any meds. We're just here to help you get your life together. I went down. They provided me with an awesome set of practices. Um, and somewhere between there and there, they saw something in me. And at the end of that 7 days, they asked me how would I feel about being a guide, you know? And from that day forward, I became a path guide. But I could not have become a path guide without having the credentials that I had. And this is one of the situations where life has led me to my career. But my career field has always remained the same, human services. And right now I'm in a position where I'm able to thrive and not just survive. I don't operate well in a job that keeps me in one place too long. And that's why I'm working on the mobile training team, where every month for 10 days a month, I go to a different state and I do in-person consultations with these veterans, these warriors that's coming in, these first responders. For the next 20 days, I'm at home like I am now. And I'm working, yep, Warrior Path. I'm working right now as we speak, but this is my job. I work a hybrid job. 2/3 of it is at home, 1/3 is on the road, and it really, really works for me and where I'm at in my life. So I know I probably gave the long answer to a short question, but there we go.
But that is great because you just really unpack something that's really important for all of our students to understand is that just because you pick one thing doesn't mean you won't have multiple stops along the way.
Absolutely.
And then you couple that with the fact that when this opportunity with Warrior Path came up, you were prepared because you already had the credentials through your education ready.
Absolutely.
So when the moment came, you were ready to go. You didn't have to go back and get another class. You didn't have to go back and get, some more education. You already had it in hand. That's excellent. So the students, please take note of that. And I haven't said it already, but for your service, we thank you. Um, thank you to the military. Thank you very much.
Thank you for doing what you're doing right now.
So just a couple more questions. One, we talked about the challenging parts of your job. What are the parts of your job that you absolutely love?
Watching individuals, grown men, grown women, some older than me, some a little younger, some my age, choose life. Not just choose life, but choose to live. And it's not watching them walk through those doors the first days and seeing them broken, and you know the change they're going to make within the next 6 days. It's more so when that third, fourth day comes about, and you see them changing, you see them choosing life. It's not the part of watching them come in hurt, but it's the part of watching them really, really grow. And that does it for me. And I like to travel too. I get to check a couple states off my checklist and get paid to do it. I wasn't privy with the opportunity to do a lot of traveling as a kid, and the rest of my travel was through the military, and random vacations here and there. So right now we still checking that bucket list and having a good time doing it, man. But it's a thankless part of the whole service. Just being the part that you get no monetary value from. You get no vacation time from. It's something that you can't take home with you, but you are there to experience it. Someone to actually say yes to themselves. I'm gonna live in spite of my circumstances. It's pretty awesome.
That is great. So, Daniel, last question I have for you. If you were sitting with our students face to face, what advice would you give them about picking their future career?
Hmm. The advice I would give you all, while you're wanting to focus on a career, think more of a field. Think more of a field. Where would you like to land amongst smart goals? Be specific, something that's measurable, something that's obtainable, and so on and so forth. Make sure you have those in line. Yeah, definitely. I would pick a field versus a career, because like I say, human services, you can say, wow, human services is this big, right?
Mhm.
And there's different spaces and places that I can fall amongst this. In order for me to be a warrior path guy, I didn't need to have a master's degree in social work. I could have had a master's degree in psychology. I could have had a master's degree in several things, social services. Um, but it all falls within that field. And it's easier to be successful. It's not easier, but it's more practical to be successful and make the best use of your time if you're operating within one field versus dumping all your energy towards one career. Because things change, people change, industry change, times change. But within that career track, you can find success.
I love it. That is great. So, students, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you, Brother Foster, for sharing your knowledge and expertise with us. And we will see y'all next time. Bye bye.